Everybody. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for being here. I've got the whole fam damly around with me. It actually looks a little high, doesn't it? Maybe like that. So that looks... okay, a little bit better. Right on. Well, we're playing a little bit of Outer Worlds. I'm starting a little bit early today. I was just sitting here staring at the wall, so I figured I'd just start. We are busting Dr. Phineas out of this prison world, Tartarus. And we, I think, are maybe halfway, or most of the way done with this game, so I'm excited to see what happens next. Throw some booze in my inhaler. Yeah, I'm excited to see like the twist at the end of the game, like who's gonna be backstabbing me and all this other fun stuff. Yeah, well, good morning, everyone. The whole thing is a simulation. I mean, I'm asking for it at this point. Yeah, we are getting close to the end of the game. We just beat up the Ram robot. Man, this is a pretty nice place. What is this? Oh, the banana peel? Thanks, son. That's exactly what I wanted. Alright, this ain't the right way. Yeah, I hope you all are having a good morning. Good morning so far. Our little child decided to wake up at 4. And that's what time she was up.
Why won't you just die?
Oh. Ah!
Hey, no problem.
I see it now.
Ah! And more importantly...
Sorry.
What? Why are you sorrying? And a free level up? Alright, what were we working on? Lying? Oh, no, that's it. Revert. Intimidating. Awesome. And free perks. Honestly, I don't know what to do with these anymore. Headshots, kills explode when I'm low health, deal more damage. Why not? Might come in handy. Sweet. Oh, let me move y'all a little closer. Phineas. Pull out of it. There we go.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved, and long overdue.
I mean, she shot at me, that's what happened.
You lunatic! You broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man! You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough.
You alright? What did they do? You know I wouldn't let anything happen to you, Phineas. Do you have any idea?
I'm all right, thanks to you.
Sound like a
Akande
parrot.
wanted my cooperation. I'm quite sure she would have beaten it out of me if you hadn't arrived.
Yeah, she wanted me to
You've broken the board's
backstab you, too.
stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish.
Like...
You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated.
Well, I'm gonna need a higher level cap then. I'm almost there. I'm really not in the mood for your
Earth
theatrics.
has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
Hold on, Doc. Are you telling me the Earth went dark 3 years ago? And the board's just been covering this up?
How
They've
do
been
you
incredibly
have, like,
effective at
transmissions
concealing
or
the truth.
anything?
Right now, the only people in the colony who know are standing in this room.
You mean we're all alone out here? Really alone?
I'm afraid so, Miss Holcomb. Halcyon is the only home we have left. Returning to Earth is no longer an option. We're
I
in
wonder how
serious
true that
trouble, my
is.
friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
Oh, yeah, we have a lot of work
Yes,
ahead
we
of us
do.
then.
You've
Gotta
done
restart
a marvelous
civilization.
thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately.
really good
starting with the hopes
at
of
running in
brightest
and bu-
minds.
busting
And then
people up.
we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
Beef Diesel is natural leader material.
I see. Well, you've certainly earned a treat for yourself.
Ice cream.
I'll just get on with reviving the other colonists and saving Halcyon, then. Enjoy your creamed ice, or whatever you call it.
Yep. Lifetime employment program ruined. Chaos on Tartarus. Leaves board in disarray. Anarchists destroy our... What?
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an
Yeah, I think I just
unplanned
beat the game. I
variable.
could have beat it last time.
From the moment he landed
Whoops.
in Emerald Vale,
It would have been 7 more
his
minutes.
actions altered the course of history.
I know, I
The
haven't...
events
I'm
on
barely
Tartarus
like...
brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a
I
handful
wish I
of
would
the
have known
Hope
this before.
colony. Engineers,
I mean, yeah.
scientists,
What could I have
technicians,
done?
and
Maybe there
intellectuals.
is like some side quests I can
They
do.
were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life
Survive,
was
don't
especially
die.
hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Sanjar's civil liberties and worker-centric policies were slow to catch on with the other corporations. But as Halcyon began its long, arduous journey toward recovery, many of Terra 2's smaller townships started adopting MSI's alternative corporate structure, and eventually became entirely self-sufficient. In the coming years, many of these townships managed to eke by, where otherwise they might have starved. Sublight Salvage adapted to the changes in Halcyon, shifting their business model to suit the times. Their claims of legitimacy were scrutinized, but ultimately unquestioned. Lilia
Yeah, well, I
Hayden
didn't
would
murder her.
continue to protect her family as ruthlessly as ever. The collapse of Edgewater left its workers bereft of any purpose in life. Most of them made their way to Adelaide McDevitt's camp, hoping to ingratiate themselves into her favor. Adelaide accepted only a few to her community. The rest were turned away and likely died of starvation. Nevertheless, Adelaide's camp grew into a well-established town. Adelaide McDevitt refused to cooperate with the ongoing effort to save Halcyon from collapse. A sympathetic deserter stole a copy of her research and delivered it to the Hope's scientists. It is unclear how useful Adelaide's research was. An optimistic estimate suggests her work may have bought Halcyon another few years of survival. Adelaide would never know. She died that winter. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had
Never
to
did the
get
male
jobs.
modeling quest.
It was a dark time indeed. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed.
They do like to move
The
in and
stories of
shack
her
up
adventures
after
spread across the colony,
not very long.
and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention.
Just roommates.
Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft,
Couldn't have done it without us,
Tramp
though. We're
freighters
basically
and
Cupid.
Wildcat miners sought her out by name, and in no time,
Helped
she
her
was
pick
a
out
fixture
soap.
in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, an MSI subsidiary of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. Dr.
Yeah, we
Wells
didn't
was able
dive
to
into his
revive
past
many
too
more
much.
scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry. Wells never forgot
Hey,
that
hey,
the human
liberated,
lives
not
that
stole.
were lost in acquiring these chemicals. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon?
Oh, old beef.
You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus, and left Dr. Wells to save Halcyon on his own. You had more pressing matters to attend to. As you tasted your first scoop of Rizzo's partially emulsified, semi-frozen milk-like dessert, you realized
Ice
something.
cream.
All your troubles, all your adventures, all your struggles and choices, they had all led to this single moment.
Nice.
And it was all worth it. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Hooray! Well, we did it, everyone. Man, if I would have known, we could have just finished this up last time. But I was afraid they were gonna have like side quests for us, or we just had more to do. It didn't seem like the end of the game, but sandbox games, yeah, they sneak up on you. Oh, there you go. And I can't do. If I do continue, I'm just curious about what it does, because otherwise we're on to our next sandbox game. Yeah, let's see what if this just puts us back at our last right after he built the REM. Built the REM? Killed the REM. Got something to say, little daughter? That's what I thought. Oh yeah, while I have y'all here, shout out to US and the UK. So thank you to, if it is the same group of people, same few people, same one person, there's always at least one or a few people. Oh no, it's the end of the game right here. Yeah, so we did it. Hooray for us. We did it. Yeah, thanks everyone. And I started the stream early too, so I've been playing for 20 minutes, but we've only been doing it for 10. Alright. So, here's what I am thinking right now. If I'm gonna switch games though, I've got to turn off my stream for a minute, so then I can start up the next one. My other idea is to just play this until... Yeah, so... Okay, so, y'all, I am going to turn off the stream for a minute, and then I'm going to launch it back, and we're going to beat Alien, and see if we can get both these games out. Alright, appreciate you guys. I will be back very, 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 very shortly.